It's very easy to be anything you want. As a man, if you don't make yourself valuable, you have no value. You have to get up and do it. Being a man is hard mode. But just like you play the video game on hard mode, when you win, you get a higher score. There is no better existence than a top tier male. Everyone knows what to do. You know you're supposed to go to the gym. You know you're supposed to train, learn how to fight. You don't do them. That's your decision. It's your prerogative. I didn't make that choice. You have enjoyed comfort when I haven't, and that's fine. But don't expect me to look at you as my equal, because you're not. If we were still in the animal kingdom, the lions, they weren't just born big lions. They had to fight other lions. They had to fight to get that antelope. They had to fight to be the boss. We live in a comfortable world now where people think, oh, it doesn't matter. But you know what? To some degree, it does matter.
Don't be naive in saying, well, this doesn't matter. I'm telling you, everything matters. There are some things that matter more than others, but there isn't anything that doesn't matter. Key to take home: every letdown affects the rest of your performance.
I know I am the best version of me that could possibly ever exist. I know that God is proud of me. If you're listening to this and you think I'm never lucky, I'll tell you why. Because God dislikes you because you're fucking lazy. If you're not a quitter and if you're not lazy, if you're prepared to follow instruction, if you're prepared to dedicate yourself for 6 solid months, 6 months out of your life, and you'll be fine. But it takes dedication. It doesn't take motivation, it takes dedication. You can't be motivated to put yourself through hell all the time. You have to be disciplined. I'm very fortunate, I'm very happy that I was poor for a long time, because I never would have been able to learn the lessons I've learned. You have to understand, I'm rich because of a bunch of things that money cannot buy. My money's nothing, right? Money's easy. Like once you're past 10 mil, let's say, there ain't nothing to buy. I mean, how many diamond watches do you need? Money is an amplifier, it doesn't change. Like I respect Elon. Point is, I wouldn't want to be them. Everyone wants to be me. I've got every single gift that God can give. But the ones that weren't God-given was because I put myself through hell. I put myself through hell because I decided to throw comfort away. For 10 years of my life, I was never comfortable. And the reason I'm the richest person on the planet is not because of the amount of money I have. It's because of all the shit that happened to me when I was poor. There's people with lots of money, but they don't have the network I have. They don't have the brotherhood I have. Having women who would literally, you could go to jail for 10 years and they would wait for you. Like having physicality, all the pain, all the bullshit I've been through. You ain't a good man if you haven't had trauma. I don't see anyone else on the planet richer than me because they're either too old or their life's been too easy. You're not supposed to be comfortable. You were never evolved to be comfortable. You're supposed to be uncomfortable.
Take yourself out your comfort zone. If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. Success is not a comfortable procedure.
Anything I do, I try and keep the end goal in mind. So people who know me say, Tate, your whole life is work. I say, yeah, it is. But I live a fun life. Every single thing I do has some kind of work tinge to it. I'm always constantly striving towards something. The idea of just relaxing completely, I'm quite fortunate because I don't find that appealing. People go, oh, I'd love to just relax on a beach. I can't think of anything worse. Maybe that's something I've learned. Maybe it's something I'm born with. But for me, it's always been goal, action, 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 action. So a lot of people don't even have a plan. A lot of the people are just waiting for their ship to come in. One day my ship will come in, and when it does, I'll buy a house, and then, I'll go on holiday twice a year. Like that's their entire life goal. And I'm not hating on those people because I need those people to serve me coffee. So that's fine. Because you do, right? There's no light without dark, and there's no rich without poor. You just have to say, well, I have to do something. I can't just sit still and die. A lot of people are happy to just sit still and die or jerk off and go to sleep and take a nap. Well, if that's what you want to do, then you can say a loser. That's fine. I'm glad there are losers because if everyone had Lamborghinis, my Lamborghini wouldn't be fun to show off. I need you to look at it and feel the deep pain in your heart of regret and failure. So you can sit at home and do nothing. But when I was poor, I had to go for a run. I couldn't sit still or lift weights or do something. I couldn't even sleep. As you get older, you get to look back and you get to put your whole story together, the whole tapestry together. I knew I wouldn't stay poor. Did I ever think I'd get this rich? No. But it's amazing how the compounding interest of just endless raw action adds up. I've never had a lazy day. I've never skipped work, never had a day off, ever. If you were to go through the last 3 years of my life, you will see that there's never been a day where I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. But I really believe God's given me one of the best lives, and I can't complain about anything bad that's happened. It's all been fantastic. I'm truly thankful for all. I think if a couple bad things happen to you, you should be intelligent enough to realize that eventually you're going to get over it, and you're going to learn an important lesson. It's going to change you in the correct direction, and Allah's the best of planners, and He knows what you need to learn. I think that as humans, especially as men, we only learn the hard way anyway. There's no easy way to learn a lesson. So God gives us lessons via difficulty. He thinks you need to learn this about yourself or this about other people. So I'm going to give you a difficult time so you can learn your lesson. Because if I told you, if I just said, hey, this is how the world works, you go, yeah. But when I show you When you feel it, my fight coach used to say, you have to feel it to believe it. He was teaching low kicks. He'd kick your leg off because you don't believe in the power of a low kick. You don't believe a low kick can be so devastating unless you felt it. You have to feel it to believe it. So God will give you a difficult time so you learn your lessons. And the lessons are very important for you to be the person who you need to be in this life. I'm thankful for all the lessons he's given me. He's bestowed knowledge upon me. How could I not be grateful to God for making me so intelligent and wise and the ability to look into things so deeply and come up to the right decision and basically predict the future perfectly? How did I know how the world works? You have to have difficulty happening to you all the time. So when you sit and say, I want an easy life, what you're saying is you're a dummy. You want to stay a dummy. I want an easy life and I don't want anything bad to happen to me because even though it will teach me lessons, I'm too big of I can't handle the emotional pain. So you want to stay a dumbass. I don't want to be a dummy. I want to be smart. If I want to be smart, then hurt me. All of the wisdom I have, all of this knowledge I speak, all of these things I say have been learned through basically difficulty of life, through professional fighting and being poor and all bad things happening to me and struggle. All of my lessons have been bad things, bad scenarios, bad situations, pain, suffering, anger. All of these horrible emotions are how I've learned everything. I thank God for giving them to me. And anyone who wants an easy life wants to stay a dummy. What do you learn if you just get money, you buy a crypto coin, it blows up, you get some money, you sleep with some girls, you go to some restaurants? What do you learn about anything? When bad things happen to me, I just kind of enjoy it. Perhaps my whole life is not about trying to find comfort, it's trying to find challenges, and it's trying to find stories. Once you understand all of the bad things and good things that come into your life are a perfect plan from God himself, you're going to be a lot less affected by the bad things. If something bad happens to you, it's part of God's plan. He knows what he's doing. In the end, you're going to be happy it happened. I often ask people, is there anything bad that's happened to you in the past at the time you were distraught about that you now wish didn't even happen? So if you understand you're always going to get there eventually, why be upset about it now, right? If you know in a year from now you'll be glad it happened, why be upset about it happening now? You have to be cerebral enough about things. I think the unhappiest people in the world don't have any struggle at all. You often find that people who are struggling but know exactly what they're supposed to do, if they're getting up every day and they're grinding and they're working hard and they don't have what they want yet, but they believe they're going to get it and they're trying their very best and they're dedicating themselves, they're very happy. Perhaps the people who are born with a trust fund and unlimited money and have no struggles in their life and they have no objectives to try and conquer are truly the miserable ones. Life is a never-ending series of tests and battles, 80-year war, and there is battle to win every single day. The best thing you can do is prepare for the future battle because you can be sure as you are that the sun will rise, that a battle will come. Problems in and of themselves are a blessing. There is nothing worse than living in the eternal still, the ether of insignificance, where you have no problems. You don't have the problems, but you also do not have any innate chance. It is stagnation, which is destructive for the male soul. It's perhaps the most destructive thing. You don't want that life. I think that a lot of people don't understand that it's all of the challenges and struggles that's going to make them, it's either going to make or break them. I was sent a study about stress from somebody. It's probably the best study I ever read. And it's talked about the placebo effect of stress. And it said that they took some of the most stressed people in the world, CEOs, etc. And the ones who believed that stress was really bad for them were dying earlier because of the cortisol inside of their blood. And they said stress was really bad for them, they were having heart attacks. But the ones who believed that stress was good for them and it made them perform, I perform under pressure, stress is good for me, they were living longer. So the same drug inside of their blood, how they framed it inside of their mind had different effects on their body. So from that point onwards, even though I already thought this way, I knew I was the right way. I knew it was the right way to think innately because I've done pretty good in life that way. But this confirmed it. Every time I feel stressed or under pressure, I get excited. It's how you look at the problems and how you use them to fuel you. What's the problem for the average man today? What's the biggest problem? I think there's a whole host of problems. But what you have to do is frame it inside of your mind and understand that all of those problems are going to allow you, give you the fuel, the unlimited motivation that you need to become a successful and beautiful individual if you frame it in the right way. If you take a man and give him a life shielded from problems and he never has any to face, I guarantee you he's terrible at being a man. So the best thing you can do as a man is look and go, okay, this is hard, this is hard, this is hard, this is hard. I feel negative because these are all so difficult. I'm struggling with X, Y, Z. Let me internalize all of that and turn it into a superpower. Let me become genuinely uncomfortable with my situation in life and go and fix things. Because like I said, the universe is absolutely and utterly very giving. And if you truly hated being in the position you were in, you wouldn't be there very long. People think when bad things happen to them that somehow they're a victim to the universe and bad things only happen to me and this is so terrible. They don't understand that bad things happen to everybody, and the most successful person you know had all those, probably, maybe even worse, at least the same bad things happened to them. They just framed it differently and used it.
I'm conditioned to win. Just like you said, you can't handle the idea of stagnation. You can't handle the idea of retirement. I'm the same. But I'm not going to lie and pretend that that mindset means I live stress-free. In fact, I would argue that I adopt endless stress all of the time because I'm looking for problems to solve, because I'm looking for money to make. I'm looking to win. You're not strong. You don't love anybody. If you love your women and you love your children, you're strong. If you sit and say, I love them, but I'm tired. I don't love them that much. Men are based on their utility. We are based on what we can do for others. That's what we're based on. And if you're weak, you don't have utility, because the essential and most important utility as a man is to resist enslavement. And weak people can't. That's why weak leaders are the worst. Weakness is the most disgusting thing on a man. Women know it. Women smell it. There's a reason they love strong men. And I really believe if you love anybody, you're going to try your very best to become strong. That's not just physically, it's mentally, it's financially, it's in all ways. I see people on Twitter who have a body like mine and they're on steroids when I'm not. And that's their whole personality. And I see people on Twitter who have money less than me, and that's their whole personality. And I see people on Twitter who get girls, and that's their whole personality. And I see people on Twitter who are famous, this whole personality. I tick every box, and I'm constantly pushing all the time, because I know that I get to show more love to the people I care about, the better I become. I think all men are born with a masculine desire to conquer Earth. And I think you're only going to be happy if you're conquering. But if you're living a semi-comfortable life and your mother is nice to you and you're not under any pressure and the Matrix is telling you it's fine to just be average, well, then you're going to be sitting there being average. I was never comforted. I was never given an easy life. I never had anyone in my life who was saying, don't worry, Andrew, it's okay. I was told the opposite all the time. I don't know if the fire inside of me is any bigger than it is inside of every other man. And I think that every man at home watching this, if they don't have the things they want in life, should feel a degree of resentment towards themselves or disappointment, understanding that they have the same desire and drive that I have. They just allowed themselves to be psyoped out of it. They've allowed the Matrix or whoever to convince them it's okay to not be the man they could be. And I never allowed anybody to do that to me. And there's a lot of men out there, especially in the world today, who only want to do things because they feel a certain way, not understanding that that doesn't make them competitive. If I woke up today and happy, I would have done this interview with you. If I woke up today sad, I would have done this interview. What's the difference? Why put so much importance on my emotion if certain things must be done? I must work, I must train, I must resist the Matrix. I've got things to do. So why are we going to sit around and talk about how I feel if it doesn't even affect how I act? And the masculine world is hyper competitive. All the women want a few men at the top. It's hyper competitive. So if you're competing against every other man for every dollar you make, every girl you see, the house you live in, the car you drive, the life you live, you're not going to be able to compete with the person who performs regardless of how they feel if you only compete when you feel like competing. Like I said, I am glad for everything that happened to me. I wouldn't change a thing. I thank God for all of it. So truthfully, I think I'm lucky, I've been blessed. The reason I talk about these things is not to tell people I've had a hard life. It's to make it clear to people who are complaining about their own lives that the bad things that are happening to you are what you need to become the man that you want to be. And when someone emails me and says, this has happened to me, I'm like, good. How else are you going to become important? How else are you going to find endless fire to get up and struggle in the face of the competition that's out here in the world? You're going to do all that with a nice, cushy life? Think about the biggest transformative stages in your life. Think about the times you got the most work done. It was a bad part of your life. It's a cheat code. It's a cheat code to climb the mountain. So when I get a message from whoever and he goes, my wife left me, I'm devastated. I say, I understand. I completely understand how hard it can be to lose a woman that you've given your entire life to. If you're truly heartbroken, my friend, and we've all been there as men, you better hit the gym. You have nothing else to do. Stop watching YouTube. Stop emailing me. I want pictures of you in the gym. Get to fucking work. Heartbreak's a fantastic motivator, as is depression, as is sadness. Great. Look at what's pissing you off and make sure it never happens again. If you were jacked and rich as fuck, she probably wouldn't have left your ass. So get your shit together.